Well, hello everyone. I'm John McElroy, and I am your host with the Florida Aviation Network. We are broadcasting live and in the clear from the terminal building here at Sebring Airport during the U.S. Sport Aviation Expo 2018, where we are flying into the future. And our guest today is John Zapp. He is the president and founder of Flying Musicians Association, and I'm very happy to have you with us. How are you today, John?
I'm doing well. How about you, John?
I'm doing well, too. And, we've just met, and we're going to get to know each other a little bit as we talk to the folks out in, who are watching this. And believe me, there's folks all over the world who are going to get to know you and what your organization is about. And just so you know, I'm a drummer, so we can talk music and have a lot of fun with this today. So,
well, then you're a pilot, too.
I am a pilot, too.
Can you? A flying musician?
I am, and I've known about your organization for many, many years, and I do enjoy it as an audio aficionado, as an attendee at some of these events. And I'd like to hear what's going on today. What brings you to the 2018 Sport Aviation Exposition?
Well, the sunny Florida weather.
Oh, and it is nice today, actually, right?
It's a little brisk out there.
I'll take 65.
65, yeah, short sleeve weather for some. It's a beautiful event, one that we've been associated with for about 5 or 6 years now, and it's growing in participation from the local music group. We've had yesterday we had some local musicians come out and play, and we'll have some more come out on Saturday.
Well, tonight you have an event, don't you?
We do. We have a house concert tonight,
right,
that's been put on. This will be the 4th year, I believe, of the house concert. And this afternoon we have the Park Ukulele Club coming in to perform. This is Avon Park Elementary School.
That's going to be fun.
They're going to have a ball, not only performing, but looking at all the aviation out there, the airplanes and the paraphernalia. It's just going to be an awesome day for them.
Future pilots.
They are future pilots, and tomorrow we'll have the Sebring High School Jazz Ensemble play. This will be their 2nd year performing.
I heard them last year. They were great.
And they are great, and they're very enthusiastic. And Colorado Pinata, their director, she's gung-ho, and if it wasn't for her, then this wouldn't happen. So
is this Colorado's second time?
Yes.
Okay, good.
She brought him here last year, and she made sure it happened again this year. And of course, the kids are not only come to play, but then the expo provides them with lunch as well, as allows them to go around and look at the exhibits. And
excellent.
And that really inspires them. And from there, we'll find future pilots as well.
Let's back up a little bit. I love to hear the beginning of your dream. You had this vision for putting together this association, and let's take it from there. Tell me about the beginnings. You had this idea, and now it's been many years in the making, and it's going really well.
Yes, we're really gearing up for next year, which is our 10th year. So. There's a lot of history, a lot of hard work.
I remember meeting you on year 1 at Sun and Fun.
Yep. It's been a trip for all of us, and
no
we've
doubt.
Enjoyed it. And it started out basically at Oshkosh, where a lot of dreams start. Oshkosh is a great place. AirVenture, they call it now, is a great place for folks to immerse themselves in aviation. Sitting around the airplane we were camping at, we brought our guitars, and a lot of people do, and we thought about that. And I happened to sit in on an interview with Roy Clark at AirVenture one year, and afterwards I didn't know Roy was a pilot, and so I went up to him afterwards and said, "Roy, you have a airstrip in Oklahoma. Why don't we have a fly-in music jam there?" And his eyes lit up and everything. Well, and that kind of
a flash of the blatantly obvious.
Yeah, it kind of started from there, and it snowballed. So it's great.
Roy is a pilot, and so many other musicians are pilots, and people wouldn't realize that they use that as a way to get around to some of the gigs and things like that.
They do.
And so what kind of plane did you fly originally?
Originally a tripacer.
Okay.
That was,
and what did you fly to that aviation in Oshkosh that year? What was that? What did you camp underneath of?
That was a tripacer that year.
Oh, neat.
Yes.
Yeah. And how about now? What are you flying now?
An RV6.
Oh, did you build that?
No, I didn't build it. I wish I had time to build an airplane, and I kept saying I will do it one day, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm a flyer, not a builder. But I do enjoy the plane, and it's gotten me all over the country.
Well, tell me about some of those trips. You go and you play out. What's a memorable trip? I bet that, going to Roy's airstrip was a real treat. But tell me some others.
I think the second year that we were in existence, AOPA had us come to their summits and perform. And so a group of members, sponsored at that time by Sennheiser, we were flown out to Long Beach, and we performed at Long Beach at the airport as well as on the Queen Mary for the reception and the gala that night. And we did so at Hartford and Palm Springs and Fort Worth, Texas, and then they stopped those and started the fly-ins, and we just started the first 2 years. We performed at every fly-in, AOPA fly-in.
Well, where do you call home? You've been traveling all over. Where's home base for you?
Well, right now it's in up in Wilkes County, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, just north of Charlotte, and it's cold place and a beautiful place.
Absolutely.
And, before that, it was Texas, and that's where things started.
Yep.
The association show. We're still incorporated in Texas, and it's a national, international group. I mean, the members are all over the world. So
does it help that I know that where Stone Mountain is?
It does help.
Okay.
Stone Mountain is very, very visible by the.
Yes, it is. And we're not talking about Georgia, folks. We're talking about the mountains of North Carolina. This is Elkin and Wilkes County, and home of the Moonshiners and some of the greatest banjo picking you will ever hear, and guitars and a really good music scene going on in Wilkes there.
As a matter of fact, one of our members, Billy G., who you may know, he's a very good bass player, and he's a luthier. He's done work for Doc Watson and all the folks up there, and he performs, and he's still performing now, and he was inducted into the Bluegrass Hall of Fame a couple years ago. So real proud of Billy, and Billy goes flying with me from time to time.
Oh, wonderful. You guys are good friends then.
And he works on my guitars, and he's just a really good guy, and we play tennis together too.
Wonderful.
So he's a good guy. So it's a great thing. Florida, I come down to Florida now 2 or 3 times a year for the events. Well, 3 now since there's another event in November, and try to get to as many events as I can. And it's hopefully right now we have a concurrent event going on in Anaheim. Some of y'all may be familiar with the Living Legends of Aviation Awards. That was last Friday night.
That's right.
And one of our members, Aaron Tippin, flew out there and performed at the event with his son Tom and his wife Thea. They did a little acoustic act during the presentations, and he experienced that. And then this week in Anaheim, the National Association of Music Merchants, it's the NAMM show.
Right.
It's
of course,
a huge
NAMM's going on
show.
right now.
And flying musicians were selected, I guess, as a NAMM Foundation partner.
Wow, that's great.
About 5 years ago.
You'll hear a lot of musicians, they'll say, hey, I'm going to NAMM. Who else is going? Can I get a ride? And, they don't anticipate that the guy will say, well, yeah, we're going out there in the Piper. Let's go.
That's true. And we've got 4 members participating at that event this week. And we have sponsors at the event, of course. Voyager Guitar is a new sponsor, and they've got the folding guitar, which is great for pilots to stash in the back. And, of course, it fits in the overhead bin at most regional jets. And others like AirTurn is out there, and Sony and Bose, of course, a big sponsor now.
It's a huge event.
Yeah.
It's the CES of musicianship, as it were.
It's the AirVenture.
It's the exactly.
Yes.
That's a great analogy. It's and what a selection of portable instruments that you can take on the road with you. I've flown with many. I'm in crew environments sometimes, as well as general aviation flying by myself, but I've been on the road with guys who have taken portable guitars and enjoyed themselves to no end.
Yes,
with
yes.
that.
Well, they have another show in July, and that's Summer NAM, and that's like Sun and Fun. I relate it to Sun and Fun, and the NAM show is like Oshkosh AirVenture, and that's in Nashville, and I participate at that every year with the NAM Foundation as a partner, the Flying Musicians, and we have members that come in and from all over the country to enjoy the show, and we talk to various vendors and manufacturers and of course artists, because as you probably well know, the all these merchants that are out there, they have supporting. Wow, that's a good one. A drummer, you should appreciate that.
Loved it.
So they have the supporting artists, so you never know who you're going to run into, whether it's Alan Jackson, Tim McGraw, who are pilots,
Right,
of course,
I know it.
or whether it's Stevie Wonder. He was walking by, and one of the members last year said, I thought that looked like Stevie Wonder, and yes, it was.
Sure.
So it's good.
Now,
event.
Stevie wants to be a pilot.
Yeah, a few little roadblocks there, but
I understand.
But he's a great guy.
I've actually talked to him about it.
Yeah.
And well, we know where you're from on the Earth, but we also have a virtual location for you, and that's at the flyingmusicians.org. So when somebody goes online, they can join your organization. So let's talk about that. They come into your organization as a new member. What kind of support do they get as a flying musician?
Well, that's what's really incredible, I think, about the Flying Musicians Association. It's as an association, it's a network. And it's a great network.
So you're able to get with other people and where they're at, and it's jam night is over here.
Whether it's a professional musician who's looking for some support from some way, or
a hired gun,
or a pilot who is looking for. It's just incredible. And
that's what I do. I go out and look for jams.
Yeah, it's a network of wherever you go. We have a map set up, an interactive map, so that you can find members in various parts of the world, what they fly, where they fly from, and what they play and stuff. So when you're traveling, as a lot of our professional musicians do, they can look up somebody locally and go out for a flight, and it's enjoyable.
Well, I love it, and there's no more fun to be had when you get to share the love of music and your love of flying. Those two things, of course, are near and dear to anybody who's in flying and as a pilot or in music as a musician. So. Well, it's really been fun having you on our show today.
I would be remiss, though, if I didn't mention the scholarship program.
Go ahead.
The FMA Solo program is it's in its fourth year. We now have 5 student musicians who have soloed, with 1 in the wings. And this year we're looking for nominations, and the nominations need to be in by January 31st.
Well, we've got it through 1 more week then for that, and that's on the website, so you can go to that link.
On the website, and it's everywhere else, and we're looking for student musicians, junior and seniors in high school, who are nominated by their music director. Now, a musician is anyone who composes, plays, or sings. So it's not just instrumentalists, it's vocalists too as well, and drummers.
Well, John, that's it for our time today together. I've really enjoyed having you on our program. So I would like to thank you very much for being here today. It's been a pleasure. Now, I'm John McElroy, and I am broadcasting live and in the clear for the Florida Aviation Network here in the Sebring Airport Terminal during the U.S. Sport Aviation Expo 2018. We'll see you on our next broadcast.